Hello and welcome to Chaos to Clarity. I am Piyush Thakkar, and in today's episode we are going to talk about non-violent communication. एक एक नया अलग टॉपिक है जिसके ऊपर डिस्कस करने के लिए हमारे साथ आज हैं चैतन्य कनोरिया. Chaitanya has been teaching non-violent communication for past 10 years. Hi Chaitanya, welcome to the show.
Hi Piyush, thank you for having me over in the show.
So Chaitanya, about the non-violent communication and what you've been doing, our listeners are very keen to know about it.
Okay, so should I tell about nonviolent communication briefly so that
Yeah, yeah,
you get
sure.
an idea?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So this thing was developed by a person called Marshall Rosenberg, and the main thing that he's trying to say is that when people connect at a heart-to-heart level, when two human beings connect at a heart-to-heart level, there are very high chances of bringing about a solution which is fulfilling to both the people. And this doesn't apply just to two people, it applies to more than two people also. So that's what the training teaches us, how to connect to human beings at the heart to heart level. And there is a process language which is used to bring in uh, to bring out the predictable results of connecting with people and getting to solutions eventually. This came into my life quite coincidentally. Um, in 2015, a lady just introduced me to this book, and I started reading it, started seeing videos, and started learning, etc., and started practicing. So, first of all, it brings in a lot of clarity in my own self. The thoughts that I have, unknowingly, we have a lot of blaming thoughts towards others, a lot of confusion in our own minds. So, a lot of that gets cleared out. In fact, just to give you an example about my own self inside myself, I left teaching Western music CBSE school over here in Nagpur 5 years back, and I started working from home. So I was very confused about what to do, and I started teaching spoken English and public speaking. But it was something that the other people wanted me to do. And even though I was earning a little bit of money with that, I wasn't very happy. So, using this process language, I finally found my ikigai, which is something which makes me happy, something that the people need, something that I can do well, and something which also brings in money, in which I am not forcing people to buy, they are contributing to the work I'm doing. So it is a win win situation for everyone, and it is very fulfilling inside me. So, using this language, I got a lot of clarity in myself. That's the first level of success we can have. The second one is that when we communicate with the people close to us, there are two mistakes we do. First is we talk in a way that triggers the other person to become violent. So, the first thing we do is we learn how to talk in a way that doesn't trigger the other person. The second thing is that when the other person talks in a triggering way, we don't get triggered. So we listen to the other person in a way that whatever they say, we are able to process it and understand their feelings and needs instead of listening to their blame or criticism, anger, etc. So, as a result, my relationship with the people close to me started improving, and I started communicating deeper with them. This started happening. Then the third place of impact is the organization that you're working with. So over there, when we talk to our colleagues, etc., like the way I spoke to my students, I did not overpower them. I did not use reward and punishment, but I just asked for help from them and I offered help to them. So this way we can have a cooperative relationship which fulfills both of us. So
So,
this is.
like, I work with a lot of MSME business owners, right, or the SME business owners, and
Okay.
one of the biggest challenges that I hear is like, why do even good committed founders end up shouting or losing patience? तो उनको ना गुस्सा आ जाता है बहुत जल्दी, and the moment they enter the office, right, something or the else is not in place, or some customer is complaining, or maybe something they expected is had to be done yesterday पर वो हुआ नहीं,
Hmm.
and that triggers them instantly, and they start shouting at the staff without even knowing the real root cause of the problem, or maybe understanding what was the situation.
Oh,
So how non-violent communication can deal in this kind of situation, because it's very common for day-to-day business activities.
okay. Very interesting question. You said that as soon as people come in the office environment, they see some things and they
That
begin to
gets them
shout.
triggered. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a trigger for them.
Yeah.
And they shout at their employees like, Why wasn't this done?" or etc. All these things. So basically, what Marshall Rosenberg says is that anger is a beautiful friend we have. That
Okay.
friend, that friend is trying to give us a message, okay, about something that is not being fulfilled in me. Okay. And if I communicate that deeper message to another human being, there are higher chances of getting that need met rather than just trying to overpower or command order that person. So there are one thing to be careful about is whenever I'm angry, there is some thought in me saying that I am right, the other person is wrong.
Wrong.
I know what is to be done, the other person doesn't know. I know my company's vision, the other person doesn't know the company's vision and is not aligned to it.
Yeah.
So there is something telling me that I am right, you are wrong. So first of all, we need to move from that right and wrong paradigm to the human needs paradigm. For example, I come and I say that, I see I'm an entrepreneur and I come and see that the data entry, let's say, what was supposed to be done yesterday and it hasn't been done yet. So I will say that, seeing this, I am really getting upset and angry because I want to serve my customers better. I want to take the mission of this company forward. For example, your company, let's say. So you want to serve the entrepreneurs better. So if I say that, I will connect to the human being in the other person. So my employee can then revert and then we can have a communication. We can connect with each other rather than me shouting. So I will not shout. I will try to understand the employee's point of view also. That, okay, was there something important in your family going on? Were you not well or something? So trying to understand what his or her needs were and expressing my needs and then trying to come to a solution.
And what if they are doing this purposefully, just for example? And sometimes, it happens that the person was lazy enough not to do the job, right?
Yeah.
And next day you come up in the office and you ask for it, and then they don't have an explanation about why they did not do it, and they are just standing there silent, and
Ah,
that boils up, right? That is a even bigger trigger, that what is actually happened you don't know, or maybe the person doesn't want you to know.
ah. So you have brought in three things. One is uh, you said that the person is lazy. Now, in non-violent communication, we don't label anybody. We only
Okay.
see the facts. So you may think that it is a fact that the other person is lazy, but lazy is actually a label. So we might see that the other person was sitting for 1 hour, not doing any office work, but instead, just resting or playing a game or slept, something like this. We have to see the observation and not go into labeling. That reduces the thought of I am right, you are wrong in me. Then, what if they are doing it purposefully? Was your other statement. So, again, this is a judgment because actually there is some other need that the employee is trying to meet. There is no need such as you are trying to do it purposefully. So, what could the employee be trying to do? Maybe the need for rest or something is there that the employee is trying to do. So, once I try to understand what the employee wants, that itself brings in a lot of trust and teamwork from the employees that yes, our boss is trying to understand me better. And that will bring in something which is called the internal human motivation.
So that's a kind of like a shift in the mindset, we would say, like instead of getting to a judgment or conclusion pretty early,
Yes.
just stay calm and then basically try to analyze the situation and find out कि actual में हुआ क्या होगा.
Yes.
And in a way that the other person in front of you doesn't feel offended about it, that you, why are you trying to, ask so many questions and trying to
Correct.
find out.
Correct. Trying to find out because if we only try to order, मान लो मैंने ऑर्डर किया और वो एम्प्लॉय ने कुछ कर भी लिया.
हाँ.
सपोज पीयूष मेरा एम्प्लॉई है, मैं एंटरप्रेन्योर हूँ, ठीक है. मैंने फोर्स कर करके पीयूष से, एक तो वो काम नहीं करेगा, वो तो एक बहुत बड़ा चांस है. 90% ऑफ द टाइम, सपोज 50% ऑफ द टाइम्स पीयूष ने नहीं किया. 50% ऑफ द टाइम पीयूष ने कर भी लिया, तो पीयूष इज ओनली डूइंग इट टू अवॉइड पनिशमेंट या टू अर्न द मनी, द जॉब, टू कीप द जॉब. तो मैंने ना पीयूष का एक्चुअल फुल पोटेंशियल अंडरस्टैंड ही नहीं किया अभी तक.
हम्म.
अगर मैं पीयूष के साथ एज अ ह्यूमन टू ह्यूमन कनेक्ट करता हूँ और मैं उसको कन्वे करता हूँ कि लिसन, चैतन्या's विजन इज दिस इज व्हाई आई एम डूइंग इट, एंड पीयूष यू आर आल्सो अलाइन टू दिस विजन. सो व्हाई डोंट यू एंड आई बोथ वर्क इन कोऑर्डिनेशन एंड यू are free to do whatever you want, you bring out your full potential.
Right.
तो उस केस में ना जो पीयूष काम करेगा that will be beyond my imagination. वो इतना अच्छा काम करने वाला है, the chances will become so much that Piyush will just blossom and do something amazing, and the organization support will be there to help Piyush to go to the next level.
So you mean first, get understand the person very well, and then try to see कि situation based reaction की जगह हम उस situation में क्या better कर सकते हैं.
Yes, understand the person very well and make them understand myself also.
You yourself, okay.
तो हम लोग दोनों aligned हो जाए. ऐसा नहीं कि दूसरे को अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए मैं सैक्रिफाइस कर रहा हूँ, और ऐसा भी नहीं है कि मैं मेरे ही नीड्स उसको बता रहा हूँ और उसकी नीड्स को सैक्रिफाइस कर रहा हूँ. ठीक है, तो वो अलाइन हो जाए और फिर जो सिचुएशन आ रहा है, जैसे आ रहा है, उसको हम अच्छे से रिएक्ट करें और उसके साथ आगे बढ़े. तो ये जो है एज अ एम्प्लॉई एम्प्लॉयर की जगह, we are both human beings who are trying to attain our full potential and then working towards it. So that can result in unimaginable possibilities. अभी हम लोग को क्या लगता है कि अगर हमने किसी को कुछ करने दिया, जो उसकी मन में आया करने दिया, तो वो कुछ भी नहीं करेंगे काम. ऐसा हमको डर लगता है.
और एक डाउट भी रहता है कि काम देंगे तो पता नहीं वो कर पाएंगे या नहीं कर पाएंगे, ठीक से
हाँ
करेंगे या नहीं करेंगे, एंड उसका आउटकम क्या होगा. सो एज एन बिजनेस ओनर, द एग्जांपल आई गिव यू एन एग्जांपल. I gave some work to somebody and then I start thinking about the future, about the result right away.
हाँ
That when the person finishes the job, this is what I want to see, right?
या
And ये doubt हमेशा रहता है. They are not able to trust their employees and hand over some certain kind of ownership to them,
या
because there is always a factor of doubt in it.
यस. So, what I propose and I suggest is that we look at two things. First thing is that a certain minimum amount of work has to be done in a certain minimum quality work, which is the least expected quality. तो उसके ऊपर भी ध्यान दो. उसके ऊपर जैसे जो भी सिस्टम्स बनाना है बनाओ. अभी तो ये सब एआई आ रहा है और कौन से एजीआई आ रहा है, आई डोंट नो व्हाट इज इट कॉल्ड, एजेंट्स एजेंट्स आ रहे हैं.
Agents, AI agents.
एआई एजेंट्स आ रहे हैं जो कि सब काम ही कर देंगे पूरा.
Hmm.
ठीक है. तो ये जो रूटीन वर्क है जो हम प्लान कर सकते हैं वो आप करवाओ, या तो ह्यूमन से करवाओ या तो आगे जाके आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस कर देगा उसको. लेकिन जो दूसरा साइड है जो अभी बहुत निग्लेक्टेड है वो ये है कि ह्यूमन क्रिएटिविटी एंड ह्यूमन पोटेंशियल, इसके भी ऊपर थोड़ा सा ध्यान दो. क्योंकि अभी हमको मालूम नहीं है कि ह्यूमन पोटेंशियल कितना आगे बढ़ सकता है. Once the people get clarity and the support system they need to express themselves and to bring out creativity, we don't know what to what extent human beings can go.
So, like you're talking about clarity and support systems, right? So,
Yeah.
what type of clarity and what type of support systems we should, build to start with?
So support system will depend upon each organization and circumstance. It's very relative. But clarity is एक डैनियल पिंक की बुक है ड्राइव. उसमें वो पूरी तरीके से ये रिसर्च बेस्ड उसने प्रपोजल दिया है कि कुछ एक्सटर्नल मोटिवेशंस रहते हैं और कुछ इंटरनल मोटिवेशंस रहते हैं. एक्सटर्नल मोटिवेशंस जो रहते हैं वो सिर्फ लिमिटेड टाइम तक काम करते हैं और वो इतने ज्यादा पावरफुल नहीं रहते हैं. लाइक मनी, ऑल द मटेरियल मोटिवेशंस दैट वी हैव, या एस्केपिंग फ्रॉम पनिशमेंट, ऑल दीज थिंग्स. रिवॉर्ड एंड पनिशमेंट वाला जो है ना, वो एक्सटर्नल मोटिवेशन है, वो बहुत काम नहीं आता है. बट इंटरनल मोटिवेशन इज ऑटोनॉमी. ऑटोनॉमी मतलब the freedom to do whatever you want to do. So many people work very hard to leave a stressful job, a job where they are only told what to do, where they don't have freedom to do what they want, because they want to have freedom to what they do. So either they work very hard in the job or outside the job to get freedom in their life, financial freedom, work freedom. They work very hard. So that is the first internal motivator, ऑटोनॉमी. सेकंड इज मास्टरी. इसका मतलब तुम कुछ काम कर रहे हो और वही काम तुमको बेटर और बेटर करने में और मजा आते जा रहा है.
Hmm.
Like today, I suppose you're a video editor or something. So I made this, I learned this technique. Wow, I felt happy. I'm going to learn another thing. I'm going to learn another thing. Suppose you're learning automation. So I did this in this way, this new way. So this thing is an internal motivator. एंड द थर्ड थिंग इज कंट्रीब्यूशन. इसका मतलब जब इंसान को समझ में आ जाता है कि मैं कैसी दुनिया देखना चाहता हूं आगे. सपोज देयर इज अ पर्सन हु हैज अ वेरी ब्रॉड विजन ऑफ लाइफ and wants to see the whole world in harmony, where everyone's physical, emotional, social, mental needs are met. ऐसी टाइप की दुनिया में देखना चाहता हूं. अगर वो दुनिया में मेरा काम कैसे कंट्रीब्यूट करने वाला है, तो उसके बारे में अगर मेरा काम कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहा है, सो दैट गिव्स मी इंटरनल मोटिवेशन. सो देर आर दीज थ्री थिंग्स: ऑटोनॉमी, मास्टरी एंड कंट्रीब्यूशन.
Contribution.
ये चीजें होती है इंटरनल. तो अगर हम ये एम्प्लॉयज के साथ ये चीज की क्लैरिटी लाए, तेरे को सिर्फ पैसे चाहिए या सिर्फ तू रिवॉर्ड या सिर्फ तू पनिशमेंट अवॉइड करने के लिए काम कर रहा है। मैं अगर एम्प्लॉय से पूछूंगा क्लैरिटी क्या चीज की है, तो मैं एम्प्लॉय से जानना चाहूंगा कि भाई तू किस मिट्टी का बना है,
हाँ
मतलब तेरा मोटिवेटर क्या है। तू सिर्फ पैसे के लिए काम करना चाहता है, गलत नहीं है उसमें, कुछ गलत नहीं है, लेकिन अगर पैसे के लिए कोई काम करेगा ना, तो मेरे को पता है वो सिर्फ इसी एक ही लेवल तक पहुंच पाएगा।
हम्म
उसका एक्चुअल मोटिवेशन क्या है? उसका मोटिवेशन है टू हैव फ्रीडम टू डू व्हाट दे वांट। ओके, देन वी कैन हैव अ सिस्टम टू सपोर्ट देम, टू गिव देम द फ्रीडम ऑफ क्रिएटिविटी एटसेट्रा। आई एम नॉट सेइंग एवरीथिंग, एक बेसिक मिनिमम तो काम करना पड़ेगा, उसके अलावा let us respect the need for freedom also, give them freedom for something. Then need for excellence, need for contribution। तो क्या चीज तुमको ड्राइव करती है वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, और जब हम वहां पे अलाइन होते हैं तब हमको क्लैरिटी मिलती।
ओके, एक एक एग्जांपल लेते हैं, लाइक जस्ट टू अंडरस्टैंड। से
बिल्कुल।
बिजनेस ओनर हैज एन एम्प्लॉय और आखिरी में uh, एक ऑर्डर आ गया, राइट, जस्ट बिफोर दे वर क्लोजिंग द डे, एंड टर्न्स आउट टू बी ऑर्डर अब आज ही डिलीवर करना है,
हाँ।
right? And basically it is the closing time, but now it now the situation is that 2-3 घंटा टाइम और लगेगा, and then overtime is required, and the employee is not very keen to do the overtime, and that is a very big trigger point for the business owners, because क्यों नहीं कर सकते ओवर टाइम, ये ऑर्डर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, आज के आज ही डिलीवर करना है, कुछ भी करो तुम, तुम्हारा क्या पर्सनल प्रॉब्लम है, मुझे उससे कोई लेना देना नहीं, मेरा ऑर्डर आज आज डिलीवर होना चाहिए। ये सिचुएशन में एज अ बिजनेस ओनर हमने क्या करना चाहिए?
तो बहुत बढ़िया बात है पीयूष, और मैं ये नहीं बता सकता कि क्या करना चाहिए, क्योंकि वो डिसीजन बिजनेस ओनर और एम्प्लॉय का ही रहेगा। मैं नॉन वायलेंट कम्युनिकेशन ये सिखाता है कि बिजनेस ओनर और एम्प्लॉय को एज अ ह्यूमन टू ह्यूमन कनेक्ट कर दो।
कनेक्ट कर दो।
उसके बाद वो लोग क्या करेंगे वो उनके ऊपर ही डिपेंड करता है। तो जैसे इस केस में हम उन दोनों की फीलिंग्स और नीड्स देखेंगे और उसको कनेक्ट करेंगे, और फिर क्या करना वो लोग वो डिसाइड करेंगे। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, जो बिजनेस ओनर है उसकी फीलिंग क्या है? एक्साइटमेंट, अरे अच्छा ऑर्डर
बड़ा
आया,
ऑर्डर आ गया, अच्छा ऑर्डर आ गया,
बड़ा
राइट।
ऑर्डर आ गया, एक्साइटेड है वो।
हाँ,
उसकी नीड क्या है? ग्रोथ की नीड है, अरे मेरा
राइट।
बिजनेस ग्रो होने वाला है।
हाँ,
राइट, ये उसकी
राइट।
नीड है। हाँ। अब जो बिजनेस ओनर ने ये बात बोली दैट आई डोंट केयर व्हाट यू डू, तू मेरा ये काम कंप्लीट करके दे, सो दिस सेंड्स अ सिग्नल टू द एम्प्लॉय दैट द बिजनेस ओनर डजंट केयर, even if it is in the mind of the business owner, it will get communicated with the facial expressions, with the body language, with the tone of the voice। ओके, तो हमको अपने माइंड में रखना है दैट आई केयर अबाउट द एम्प्लॉय ऑल्सो, आई केयर अबाउट माई सेल्फ ऑल्सो, आई केयर अबाउट द एम्प्लॉय ऑल्सो।
एम्प्लॉय ऑल्सो।
तो अभी एम्प्लॉय के तरफ से देखते हैं उसकी फीलिंग क्या है। उसकी फीलिंग इज जस्ट गोइंग टू लाइक बी रिलीव्ड कि आज का दिन का काम खत्म हो गया, और अभी वो नया ऑर्डर आया है तो वो इरिटेटेड है। अभी वो इरिटेटेड क्यों है? क्योंकि उसको घर जाके रेस्ट करना था, या घर जाके अपने फैमिली के साथ टाइम स्पेंड करना था, फ्रेंड्स के साथ टाइम स्पेंड करना था, अभी एंजॉयमेंट का उसका टाइम है, और वहां पे उसको ऑर्डर आ गया तो उसका इरिटेटेड है वो। तो हम लोग दोनों को बात ऐसे करना है, टू पुट ट्रस्ट एज अ प्रायोरिटी, टू पुट केयर एज अ प्रायोरिटी, कि listen, I know that you are irritated right now because you want to spend time with your friends, you want to enjoy, you want to relax, and I am actually excited right now because I'm seeing growth in our business। ठीक है, तो हम अब हमको पावरफुल क्वेश्चन पूछना है कि हम ऐसा क्या कर सकते हैं जिससे कि ग्रोथ भी मिले और तेरे को रेस्ट भी मिल जाए, तेरे को एंजॉयमेंट भी मिल जाए। तो जब हम ऐसा क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं ना, तो वी आर रिस्पेक्टिंग द एम्प्लॉयर्स फीलिंग्स एंड नीड्स, एंड आई एम एक्सप्रेसिंग माई फीलिंग्स एंड नीड्स, एंड देन देर आर मेनी पॉसिबिलिटीज ऑफ सॉल्यूशंस कमिंग अप। जैसे एम्प्लॉय बोलेगा, सर मैं जाता हूं लेकिन आपका काम ना मैं इसको बोल देता हूं करने के लिए, ये कर देगा। पॉसिबिलिटी नंबर वन। Possibility number two, employer says, I'll have another call with the customer and see if this can be done the first thing in the morning tomorrow as an exception. Possibility number three, whatever. मतलब, once we ask this question, solutions will come to us. But अगर हम वो blame game में रह जाएंगे तो solutions आना और मुश्किल हो जाएगा। जैसे एम्प्लॉयर बोलेगा, आजकल के एम्प्लॉयज को तो काम करना अच्छा नहीं लगता है। वो अभी कोई इंसिडेंट हुआ था ना लेटेस्ट, वो 90 आवर वीक और कुछ तो डिबेट हो गया था।
हाँ, that people should work longer hours in a
हाँ,
week.
कोई एक कंपनी का सीईओ हैड मेड सम कमेंट। सो
Right, right.
सो अगर वैसा, वो क्या है उसके माइंड में, आई थिंक ऐसा ब्लेम होगा कि द पीपल डोंट लाइक टू वर्क, पीपल आर लेजी। हाँ। और ऑपोजिट एंड से एम्प्लॉयर के माइंड में ब्लेम है कि, सॉरी, एम्प्लॉय के माइंड में ब्लेम गेम है कि एम्प्लॉयर्स आर नॉट सेंसिटिव, दे डोंट नो द हार्डशिप्स दैट वी आर गोइंग थ्रू, वी आर नॉट
Yeah.
रोबोट्स, वी आर नॉट मशीन्स।
Hmm.
So if we are in this blame game, see, I am right, you are wrong. Employer saying I am right, you are wrong. Employees saying I am right, you are wrong. वो माइंडसेट से निकल के अगर मैं ह्यूमन बीइंग टू ह्यूमन बीइंग फीलिंग्स और नीड्स के लेवल पे कनेक्ट होता हूं, तो देर आर very beautiful solutions which can come up, and the trust, connection, support will be maintained. This will help in employee retention also.
Talking about employee retention, many a times this is also observed कि there is a person who is underperforming, right? Consistently, even if you give them a lot of support and you create systems around them, help them out, but they're still underperforming, right? So that is very irritating. And every time then slowly क्या होता है कि इस this is a silent killer. So initially you let go, let go, let go. थोड़े समय बाद वो ना पूरा ये होते जाता है, accumulate होते जाता है, एंड accumulate होने के बाद एक दिन वो पूरा का पूरा गुस्से का गुबार फट जाता है, एंड then
हाँ,
there is a big shouting happening on that employee, right?
हाँ,
And post that, the relationship between the employer and the employee is almost on the verge of crashing. Some people get fired at this time, and some people still stay, but there is a very, it's not a very good relationship moving forward.
हम्म,
So ये जो over a period of time ये जो होते जाता है and then you are just letting go things, इसका कोई alternative है नॉन वायलेंट कम्युनिकेशन में कि the thing that you are not doing well is communicated in a way that the person is basically understanding it and trying to resolve that, thinking कि
yeah,
हाँ मेरे तरफ से गलती हो रही है और मुझे इसको रिजॉल्व करना है.
right, absolutely. एक तो सबसे पहली चीज है कि जो लेटिंग गो जो स्टार्टिंग से हो रहा है, फर्स्ट थिंग इज डोंट लेट दैट हैपन एट ऑल। पहले ही बिल्कुल छोटा सा इंसिडेंट भी आपको दिखता है तो इमीडिएटली उसको पॉइंट आउट करो और फीलिंग्स और नीड्स की लैंग्वेज में उसको एक्सप्रेस कर दो, तो वो बढ़ने का टाइम ही नहीं मिलेगा। दैट इज द प्रिकॉशनरी स्टेप फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल। अभी वो प्रिकॉशन का टाइम तो चले गया, अभी ऑलरेडी बात काफी बढ़ गई है। तो अगेन, इफ वी टॉक इन द फीलिंग्स एंड नीड्स लेवल कि भाई मेरी नीड्स ये है, आपकी नीड्स ये है, हम लोग दोनों एक दूसरे की नीड्स को समझते हैं, एंड नाउ लेट्स टॉक अबाउट द सोल्यूशन। सो आइदर देयर विल बी अ solution with each other, मतलब person A and person B will still be with each other and find the solution, or what can happen is they will both separate क्योंकि पुराना काफी प्रॉब्लम हो चुका है, but A's needs will also get fulfilled and A will help B also to get their needs fulfilled and B will help A. मतलब क्या है कि even though they are not working together but they have human to human connection. आगे चल के किसको पता 2 साल 5 साल के बाद situations may turn around again and they may still come back and work together. तो ह्यूमन टू ह्यूमन कनेक्शन नहीं ब्रेक करो और ए का जो नीड है वो कोई दूसरे सी से फुलफिल हो जा रहा है, सी के सही सी को रिप्लेस कर दिया, बी हैज गॉन एंड स्टार्टेड वर्किंग विद डी. देयर आर अनलिमिटेड पॉसिबिलिटीज ऑफ फुलफिलिंग सॉल्यूशंस हैपनिंग. दैट विल हैपन केस टू केस बेसिस, बट नॉट टू बी इन द ब्लेम गेम, नॉट टू से कि ये तो काम ही नहीं करता, ये तो आलसी है, फिर वो अपना बर्स्ट आउट हो रहा है इतने साल के बाद. वैसा वाला सिचुएशन की जगह कीप एक्सप्रेसिंग योरसेल्फ, कीप द ट्रस्ट चैनल ओपन एंड ऑनेस्ट कम्युनिकेशन बिटवीन ईच अदर. व्हाट डू यू फील? अब एम्प्लॉय जो फील कर रहा है वो बताने के लिए एम्प्लॉयर ऑल्सो शुड बी रेडी ना.
हाँ, और मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स होता ये है कि एम्प्लॉय ज़्यादा बात नहीं करते,
हाँ
ओनली एम्प्लॉयर स्पीक्स, बिकॉज
हाँ
यही कल्चर है. सो
हाँ.
बॉस के सामने कैसे बात करेंगे या बॉस के सामने कैसे एक्सप्रेस करेंगे,
यस.
राइट? तो वो उतना ओपन अप नहीं हो जाता है. तो कई बार ऐसा भी होता है, दिस इज वन साइडेड जजमेंट दैट द
यस.
बिजनेस ओनर टेक्स और द एम्प्लॉयर टेक्स, क्योंकि पूरी सिचुएशन पूरी बात पता ही नहीं है. तो मे बी उस वजह से भी ये थोड़ा सा शाउटिंग के इसमें चला जाता है,
बिल्कुल.
मोड में.
वही है. ऑल दिस कम्स बैक टू द थिंग दैट व्हाट काइंड ऑफ अ कल्चर यू वांट इन योर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. डू यू वांट टू बी अ पावर ओवर पर्सन, मतलब मैं जैसा बोलूंगा वैसा ही होना चाहिए, या डू यू वांट टू बी अ पावर विथ पर्सन? आई ऑल्सो हैव द पावर, यू ऑल्सो हैव द पावर, यू हैव एज मच पावर एज आई हैव. तो तुम्हारी भी बात सुनी जाएगी, तुम बोलो, तुम्हारी बात को ऑनेस्टली सुना जाएगा. ऐसा नहीं है कि हम बाद में अच्छा बेटा तूने ये बोला ना अब मैं तेरे को
हम्म.
दिखाता,
हम्म.
तो वैसा नहीं होगा. एंड ऑल दिस कम्स आफ्टर सम एक्शंस. धीरे धीरे करके ट्रस्ट डेवलप हो जाता है बट इट डजंट टेक वेरी लॉन्ग. once the employer, once the main head is convinced ki no, my priority is going to be human beings, then other things will follow.
Okay, that's a very good insight, that try to connect as humans and
Yes.
then align the priorities rather than
Yes.
aligning the priorities first
हाँ,
and then thinking कि इसने ये गलत किया और उसने वो सही किया उस
yes.
हिसाब से.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Connecting to this is like, some what happens is, you have work pressure, right? You are totally upset, you had a very bad day in the office. The
Hmm.
moment you land home and there
Hmm.
is another problem standing at home, and then you are not in a mood to solve that problem right now.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. So amazing. A different aspect you have shown, that when the entrepreneur comes home, the entrepreneur is still an entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur, he's not
He's not
at
left
home.
it at the office,
Yeah,
and he's
because
not at
it's,
home, literally.
yeah, he's not at home, he's 24/7 thinking about his business, because it is
हाँ,
his business or her business, right?
correct.
So
Correct.
uh, वो कभी ब्रेक होता ही नहीं है. Like, if
हाँ.
people are in a job, they basically come after finishing the office hours, they just forget about the job, because they are not thinking about responsibility and growth and all that thing. But life
Yeah.
of a business owner or entrepreneur is like, they're thinking about this 24/7.
So, Piyush, this is a different set of situation where the entrepreneur has come from the office back home. But the good part in this nonviolent communication is that the same process language can be used to communicate at home as well.
Okay.
So what you said is that the employer is stressed, and at home also there is a situation which demands his energy, etc. So I will, suppose I'm the entrepreneur, I will express my feelings and needs that I'm really stressed today and I want some peace, and can you just tell me what I want? Okay. Then suppose the spouse says that, okay, you want peace, but there is another demanding problem at home. The cook hasn't come today, and I have to do all the cooking, and I am also very upset today. My work also didn't go well, and I am also stressed from work, etc. So the entrepreneur can take some time to empathize with the spouse, that okay, it seems like you're also stressed and about the work and about the cooking, and you would also would you like some understanding from me right now? So the spouse may say, yes, I want some understanding, I can handle the situation on my own, but thanks for being there. So then the entrepreneur can come back to this, that okay, I would really like to go and do my like 10-minute meditation or something to calm myself down, and then I will be with you and I will be present with you. Does that work for you? So what the entrepreneur has done, not just shouted that मेरे को समझते नहीं तुमको अपनी बतानी है, you don't see how stressed I am, and then we get a response that you don't see how stressed I am, you don't understand me. So instead of that, we connect at the human to human level, and then we find out solutions.
Okay, so connecting at human to human level
हाँ.
sounds a very difficult thing, क्योंकि वो हीट ऑफ द स्पर ऑफ द मोमेंट में
Yes.
कब हम रिएक्ट कर जाते हैं उस पे कंट्रोल नहीं होता है. सो हाउ टू प्रैक्टिस दिस या हाउ टू
Yeah.
गेट टू.
बिल्कुल, because from childhood we have seen reactive behaviors, reactive talking,
या
and we have also become used to it. So it has become our habit. Now, the way to break this habit and to form a new habit in which connecting becomes more natural to us, more normal to us, will take practice, like driving a car takes practice. Everything, all the skills take practice, and eventually you become very fluent at that.
So in terms of non-violent communication, what
Yeah.
are your top 3 recommendations to people?
The first recommendation I would say is begin to listen more.
That is very important, to be a good listener.
Yes, to be able to listen more, because many a times what I have seen from my own experience is that we don't realize that we are only talking about what is there in our mind, and the other person is continuously perceiving us as this person doesn't listen. Okay, so if we take even a little effort to start seeing the things from the other person's point of view, and I'm not saying agreeing and being permissive, just seeing their point of view, seeing their feelings and needs, they will start changing their opinion about us. They will start thinking that yes, he has started listening, he has started paying attention to our needs, even though the needs may not get fulfilled, but at least he has started listening to us. That itself gives a lot of connection. This is called empathic connection. So the first thing is that to slightly start improving your listening skills, and more, not intellectual listening, not so much intellectual listening like what they are trying to say, etc., but more towards feelings and needs, what the other person is feeling, what the other person is needing. So this is human. Otherwise तो आपको just imagine an entrepreneur having an entire office run by robots. There are no human beings,
Yeah.
and all the work is being done. The robot is working overtime, everything. So will an entrepreneur be happy? Now, if the answer is yes, then the entrepreneur in the first place did not need humans. He needed only robots. और वो अभी भी अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में ह्यूमंस को रोबोट्स जैसे ही एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं कि वो काम करें. तो ठीक है, वो एंटरप्रेन्योर को आगे वैसा ही प्लान करो, वही बना लो, रोबोट्स ही बना लो. लेकिन अगर तुमको ये समझ रहा है कि ह्यूमन टू ह्यूमन कनेक्शन इंपॉर्टेंट है, तो फिर तुमको थोड़ा सा ये चीज पे ध्यान देना पड़ेगा। अभी क्या हुआ ना, जहां पे बहुत कंट्रोल हुआ, जैसे there were some older generations who tried to control the new generations who had the power. So now those older generations have ended up becoming alone. Nobody wants to be with them.
Yeah, because then there is a kind of mistrust. Uh,
Mistrust, and they say that he's a selfish person. He only wants to do whatever he wants.
he wants, and he doesn't care about the other person.
Yeah, exactly. So he doesn't care about us as human beings. He only wants his work to get done.
Right,
He only wants to other people to agree with his ideas.
right.
तो अगर वैसा होना है तो उसका रिस्क ये है दैट वी विल एंड अप बिकमिंग अलोन।
Alone.
तो अगर हमको ह्यूमन पोटेंशियल देखना है, जैसे पीयूष अगर मेरे साथ कोलैबोरेट करेगा ना, पीयूष ठक्कर इज एन एम्पावर्ड ह्यूमन बीइंग। वो क्या करेगा ना, वो मुझे भी नहीं मालूम, वो शायद उसको भी नहीं मालूम। लेकिन अगर हम लोग दोनों ह्यूमन टू ह्यूमन कनेक्ट करके आगे बढ़ते हैं, तो हम कहां का कहां पहुंचेंगे, इट इज अनइमेजिनेबल। बट इफ आई गेट अ रोबोट, तो मैं सिर्फ अपनी इमेजिनेशन तक ही पहुंच पाऊंगा। सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट थिंग आई थिंक, टू begin to listen better. This is a big one. The second thing is to, yes, the second thing is your own emotional care. जैसे आपने एग्जांपल दिया कि ऑफिस से घर आया, अब घर पे भी वो है, तो what you said is very true कि sometimes I don't have that emotional energy to deal with the situation. Patience नहीं है मेरे पास।
नहीं है मेरे पास।
तो we can give empathy only when we have empathy. So on a regular basis, I have to take care of my own emotional well-being. So if I have a group of people who can listen to me non-judgmentally and I can receive human empathy, आजकल तो AI वगैरह में भी empathy है. There are some chatbots जिसमें कि you type whatever you want and they will empathically respond to you. That is not satisfying. I've tried that. जो human presence एक मुझे सुनता है और उससे जो मैं satisfy होता हूँ, वहां पे मेरी empathy बैटरी चार्ज हो जाती है। तो वो चार्ज करना on a regular basis, and to make that also part of my system, my culture, my company culture, only then I will know the importance of how important it is, and I will gift it to my employees. Then they will also understand. So second thing is to give yourself a lot of empathy. And the third thing I would say is to learn to become honest without being judgmental.
That is a very interesting,
Very interesting. It is to start practicing honesty without being judgmental. तो नॉन वायलेंट कम्युनिकेशन में ऑनेस्टी क्या होता है कि तुम फैक्ट्स ऑब्जर्व करो विदाउट मिक्सिंग इन विद जजमेंट्स, एंड focus on your feelings and needs and what you are perceiving the other person's feelings and needs. तो इसमें हम ऑथेंटिक ऑनेस्ट हो सकते हैं विदाउट सेइंग आई एम राइट यू आर रॉन्ग, दिस काइंड ऑफ थिंग। रॉन्ग का पैराडाइम जो है वहां से शिफ्ट होके फीलिंग्स और नीड्स के पैराडाइम में शिफ्ट हो सकते हैं। सो वी कैन बी ऑनेस्ट, वी कैन बी अंडरस्टैंडिंग टू ईच अदर, एंड
can
वी
we
हैव टू
be
प्रैक्टिस दिस।
can we be blunt? Like,
या,
this is what I am feeling right now. What do
यस,
you
ऑफ
feel?
कोर्स, वी
Questions like that.
एक्चुअली द अदर पर्सन अप्रिशिएट्स दैट। एक रिसर्च किया मार्शल रोजनबर्ग ने, उसने बहुत सारे लोगों से पूछा कि अगर आपकी बात सुन के दूसरा आदमी बोर हो रहा है, तो क्या आप इंटरप्ट होना चाहोगे कि नहीं होना चाहोगे? डिड यू गेट द सिचुएशन?
Yeah, very interesting situation.
हाँ, सपोज आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट समथिंग
Ah,
and the other
and
person is getting bored,
getting bored. Yeah.
so he is asking the person who is doing the talking that would you like to be interrupted or not? Okay, So this is where your topic of being blunt comes in. So everybody said that yes, everybody except one person. I don't know what was the reason for that, but there were hundreds of people who said yes, we would like to be interrupted because I want the other person to listen with interest. I don't
Interest,
want to
yeah.
bore. And when I am being boring to somebody else, I am also getting bored. So if I am boring you, for example, and you bluntly say, Chaitanya sir, this is a little boring and I'm not getting the interest required for me. So I will appreciate that. Thanks, Piyush, for telling me. I'll switch to something else which will interest you. I will ask what could be interesting for you and me. I will be interested to talk, you will be interested to listen. So, of course, in being honest, which was our third point, being blunt is something that you need to learn
In a good way, like it should not,
in a good
hurt
way.
the
Instead of
person.
saying you are boring,
Yeah.
this is a label. You can say this topic is right now not getting the interest that I want, and I would like to have more interest.
Hmm.
So, could we talk about something which is interesting for you and me also? This way we can express ourselves. We need to learn to express.
Without offending the person in the front.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yes,
Okay. Okay. That's a really good insight. You have to express yourself, but
yes.
in a way which
Ah,
is curious. Like you're
yes,
curious about the situation
ah,
and you're just putting it as you feel, but in a better way that does not hurt the feelings of the other person.
absolutely.
Three suggestions are like, first is be a good listener. Second is self empathy, because if you don't have
Yes,
empathy, you will not basically understand the
yes,
other person. And third one is be brutally honest,
yes,
but and express yourself, but
yes,
in a way that does not, hurt the other person.
yes.
Okay. It's been a wonderful conversation with you, Chaitanya. Thank you so much for joining us today. And this episode has given our listeners a different food for thought, which is about nonviolent communication and how we can basically express ourselves without getting angry or without shouting, may it be at the office or may it be at home.
I loved it sharing with you. You are such a satisfactory listener. I felt very satisfied sharing my experiences and having you listen. So it was very satisfactory for me. And thank you so much for inviting me, Piyush, for your podcast.
Thank you so much, everybody, for listening today. This is Piyush Thakkar from Chaos to Clarity, and I'll see you in the next episode.